gesture that I did for A. In America, thumb displays are proudness gestures. You know, it's like you might see a guy do this, but this gesture is not a good gesture in other parts of the world. So it is a negative gesture, so make sure that you don't use that. My A was true, my B was true also. My hands were behind. He said my college grade point average for my master's was a 3.8. But, I mean, kind of look at this. This is kind of military, I'm sure. And I'm sure you noticed this. It's not real ladylike, but as a speaker, we're trained. My feet stayed exactly shoulder width apart because we are trained that when we need to deliver a message, we have to establish a substance and stability for ourselves and then talk. If I would speak to you for an hour, and look, I would go from hip to hip, it gets a little too wishy-washy. Sometimes you just have to take a stance, really, and then deliver. And another secret that speakers know is that you breathe clear when your weight is evenly distributed between your 2 feet. So that's why you see a lot of speakers do that. And look, you know, this is confidence, but don't you see this? Don't you ever see this? This is really not a good gesture because the higher up on the arm the person holds, the more they're thinking to themselves, I disagree so badly with what you're saying, but I'm holding myself back from punching you. So this is good and this is not good. My A was true, my B was true, my lie was C.
Yeah.
I saw you out there. I was never crawfish queen. You know what crawfish is? Do you know what crawfish is? Everybody knows what crawfish is now. But I've eaten a ton of crawfish. But you saw the gesture that I did. It was kind of tiny, and I crossed my fingers here. I want you to watch for those individuals who do extensive crossings with their hands when they're talking. Look at this. Like if someone talked with you and they did this, I bet after a while you would notice it. Or maybe they did this. I think you would notice it. Or look how severe this crossing is. All these crossings go back to when someone was a youngster and said something they should not have said, and then they crossed their fingers and said, I hope they don't find that it's a big old lie. So, and you know, as I watch people speak, it's never okay to point at someone else. Never, never, never. That's two teacher-student. With one finger, it's not okay. With 2 fingers, it's still not okay. When we point, we almost have to go like this. We almost have to go like this. Like, you know, they do it at the Ritz-Carlton, they'll say, well, it's that way. You almost have to do it with an entire pen. This is 2 teacher-student, so you almost have to go like this. And so my lie was C, and then lastly, I said I wrote the article on Tiger, and that is true. It's in Golf Magazine. I took 16 different positions that Tiger takes on the golf course. I don't like to use the word Tiger in position in the same sentence anymore, but I took 16 positions that Tiger takes on the golf course and analyze, and you can Google us together. It's an interesting article. Remember at the very beginning I talked about the sock puller? I want to just mention the sock puller for a second. I ended up writing 5 books, and we'll give some of these away in a minute, but my first book is titled Let Me See Your Body Talk. This is a pretty good name for a book in body language. Olivia Newton-John had a song, Let Me Hear Your Body Talk. Mine's Let Me See. So this is job interview, body language, presentation, gender differences, body language. My second book is Judge of the Jury. It's how to spot a liar in the courtroom. So everything we do in the courtroom is in here. My handwriting analysis chapters are in here. My facial analysis chapters are in here. My Google analysis chapters are in here. My third book, though, is titled Freeway of Love. It's signs that men and women do that say, oh, baby, get over here. It's a Tuesday night in Long Island, so I'm going to give you a couple of gestures right here. And then my fourth book, this is the best for you. This is strictly business body language. So this is just sales and negotiations. And this has pictures of people sitting certain ways and negotiating tables. It has every conceivable sitting, standing position you can think of. And I even put a chapter on table layout, like where's your power position at a circular table, where's your power position at a U-shaped table or rectangular. It's all of that is in here. And my cultural body language information is in this one too. And then my last book is titled Poker Face. Not that any of you are gamblers, but I, Jan Hargrave, am a tad bit of a gambler. But this shows you how to spot a bluffer at the table. Let me just do a love gesture for you. I'll give you one gesture that guys do that say, you know, she looks good. I'll give you a couple that ladies do that say, he looks handsome to me. And it's not them touching their hair, guys. That is not gesture number 1 that ladies do. It's gesture number 4. So just for fun, I'll just give you a gesture that a guy does that says, she looks good. And I'd like to talk with her a bit more. Think of the name of that book, though. It's titled On the Freeway of Love. There was an old song, On the Freeway of Love, in my pink Cadillac. Well, that was my mission when I wrote it. I wanted the reader to drive this highway of romance. So chapter 1, you just see someone who looks good across the room. Chapter 2, now they're looking at you and you're looking at them. So there's a whole eye protocol in this love stuff. Chapter 3, now you're afraid. You're going to stand up and go towards them. So every chapter gets you closer and closer. What I did in the book to make it even more fun, every chapter in that book is a song title, since the name of the book is a song. Chapter 1 in the book is titled Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye. Chapter 2 is about eyes, so I use The Look of Love, which is an old song by Sergio Mendes. Chapter 3, they're getting closer to each other. I use the vertiflex, the closer I get to you. Chapter 4, they made contact. I titled it, I Want a Man with a Slow Hand. Just goes downhill. There's 11 chapters, so it gets a little crazy. In chapter 7 in that book, it's about lying between lovers, and I titled it Smooth Operator by Sade. And what I did in chapter 7, I listed the 101 most often told lies that lovers tell each other. I listed 101, but I bet all of you know what's lie number 1. What do you think is the number 1 lie lovers tell? It's not a bad thing. Don't let your little minds go there. What do you think is the number 1 lie?
I'm single.
I'm not married. No, you've been telling that to a lot of women. Yes, ma'am? The number 1, she said it. Have you been saying that to a lot of guys? It's alcohol. Because it's so easy to say, because I see Saturday and say, alcohol. Now you catch it and say, well, yeah, baby, alcohol. Lie number 2 is I love you. Lie number 2 is I love you. Lie number 10 is I have never done this kind of thing before. So I'll give you one gesture that a guy does that
You're laughing a little too much back here.
and I'll give you one gesture that a lady does that says he's really good. Looking, the number 1 male gesture. Ladies, when a guy likes you and he doesn't know how to quite tell you that he likes you, men always pull up their socks. It is the number 1. Ladies, if you see a man who you like and he's pulling up his socks, just go to him and say, I know it's me, baby. Guys, if you pull up your socks, I would say, who's in this room that I might like? It is the number 1. And you know what's precious about men? Sometimes men will try to even sneak a pull. Anytime he touches that sock, something the lady is making him nervous and he'd like to get to know her better. Think where that originates, though. You might hear one young man say to another, he'll say, you just see this girl? She will knock your socks off. You will never look at sock pull and like this. Let me give you a second one. This one's so easy because I saw it outside in the hallway. A guy and a girl were talking. The guy was holding onto a Coca-Cola can. Ladies, show me with your hand, what does a guy do when he has a can in his hand and you're making him nervous? What does he do? He kind of squeezes it, lets it go and squeezes it. Every time he squeezes that can, he's thinking to himself, I'd like to squeeze you. You might want to watch the cans of the guys who speak. The book is filled with them. Let me give you a couple that ladies do, because ladies are the best to watch. I mean, ladies have a lot going on with them, and ladies are pretty in hair and stuff like that. The number 1 gesture, you know, men always think she touched her hair. Wow, she likes it. That's not number 1, that's number 4. The very first gesture, and I would like you to come up with the right there, the blue tie, because I saw you come get an award. What is your name again? But he was a good soulmate. I could see him sitting right there smiling, so I'm going to drink and have some fun. While he's up here, I'll give you the gestures that ladies do, but let me just show you how to read a couple because